Hey guys, Alex here. Let's talk about one of the more powerful tools that I've incorporated into my life whenever I've remembered to use it, that helps me take steps into my zone of discomfort more often. Okay, we're talking about doing more, taking more action, particularly the types of actions that we often hold back from doing, whether it's a winning habit, whether it's doing something that makes us feel a little bit nervous but we know that it's going to bring rewarding results. Those kinds of activities, those actions. Stepping onto a stage and giving a talk, recording a video, recording a podcast, setting up a date with someone, going out and meeting someone new, buying someone coffee, approaching a potential client. All of these things are the kinds of actions that move our lives forward, right? And a lot of us are sort of coasting along. A lot of us are hiding in the shadows, hiding from our own shadow, avoidant of those positive habits, those positive actions that are going to move our lives forward. And not only in small steps, but sometimes these actions they often tend to lead to leaping ahead in surges in our lives. You know, when we've accepted that speaking engagement, or we've set up that class that we were dreading to lead. Certainly in my case, I've been setting up classes recently, which is something that I'd never thought I would do. Just things that get us a little bit nervous and a little bit on edge, right? Things that we feel unprepared for, things that feel like a risk. These are the things that are worth living for. Life for me is about living dangerously. Life is short, life is brief, and the real rewards, if you've ever looked back over your life, the real deep sense of fulfillment that you've had has nearly always, and I can guarantee this, I can predict this from you, the times when you felt really alive, when you really felt like something's been moving, something's shifted in your life, something's really happening, and you feel like you've been getting on top of things, it's when you've taken acts of courage. It's when you've done that thing, you've actually done it, you've put something down on paper and you followed it through and you did it, and you might have been fearful when you did it. You may not have done the best job of it, but you got through it, you finished it, you hung your coat up on the wall at the end of the day and you thought to yourself, this is good, man, this is living, this is real. We want more of that in our lives. We want to do things that push us forward out of our comfort zones. We want to take more actions, and we want to fill our lives with winning, successful habits. And that's easier said than done, isn't it, guys? We want to feel comfortable, we want to feel pleasure. It's very, very tempting to take the path of least resistance and make life as easy and as stress-free and as calming and as fun as possible. And I put fun in there, but fun is the thing that can also appear in the other side. Fun can be had when we live dangerously as well. So how do we take more of this action? How do we do the things that lead to leaps in our lives, lead to surges, lead to real rewards, lead to real wins, bigger clients, more money, more peak experiences, better relationships, more amazing friendships and connections? What do we need to do? There are many things. Obviously, there are many tools for success and many tools for productivity and many tools for action taking that help us. One of the things that's helped me the most is the non-negotiable. Having more of the actions that are worth taking, whether it be avoiding sugar or creating art or setting up new events in your life, new appointments that might be scary, but you know, if you can knock a few of those off every month, you'll start to see some successes. You'll start to see some really interesting wins in your life. Those are the kinds of things you want to be making non-negotiable. Perhaps, and I've been talking to a lot of creatives over my life about how they have struggled to commit to certain projects. Maybe they had a dream of creating a children's book, or maybe they had a dream of writing a novel, or maybe they had a dream of becoming a teacher. But they never committed to that time that is required to take steps towards building whatever that thing is, creating that book, writing that book. And that's because they haven't applied the art of the non-negotiable to their life. What do I mean by non-negotiable? Very often we allow ourselves to negotiate ourselves out of doing things. This is the reason we say, I'm gonna start, on New Year's Day, I'm gonna start fresh and I'm gonna become a better person. I'm gonna go to the gym every day. But of course, after a couple of weeks, we lose that motivation. We find it a lot easier to negotiate ourselves out of doing things. We come up with excuses. We come up with ideas that say, you know what, like this, going to the gym every day is a little bit far-fetched. I'm going to allow myself to go to the gym twice a week, and then it turns into once a week, and then it becomes non-existent. So we allow ourselves to negotiate with ourselves to cancel whatever it is that we were going to do. And of course, no action gets done when we negotiate ourselves out of doing stuff. So we want to make things non-negotiable. So at the very basic level, non-negotiability, or applying non-negotiation to things, is just to say, I'm going to do this at this time, I'm going to put it in my calendar, and I'm going to make sure it gets done. So you're still relying on yourself. So that can be useful. A strong commitment to something can be powerful just in and of itself. But of course, we still are at risk of negotiating ourselves out of it, coming up with excuses, right? So you want to think about, okay, what can I do to apply more rigidity to that non-negotiation? What can I do to make sure that things get done, whether it be just spending an hour every day painting, or spending an hour a day doing something that's going to be good for your body? You want to, commit to it, put it down on your calendar, write it down, have it on your wall, have it reminded, have a reminder of it everywhere you look. So that's kind of one level of it. The next stage up is to have someone hold you accountable, someone that you know that you can check in with maybe once a week, and you can kind of have a review of how the week went. Or you might have someone that you're on a kind of text communication relationship with, and you exchange every day. You can kind of be in touch and say, how did your day go? Did you manage to do that thing you committed to do? Did you not? Did you avoid doing that thing you said you weren't going to do? So you have this sort of human accountability partner who is there, who's also benefiting from your relationship with them, and that can be very powerful. So that's a sort of a level up from negotiating with yourself. You want to have something non-negotiable, and that's done through accountability. Accountability will add an extra layer of rigidity to that thing that you want to get done, that you don't want to have the excuse come up that says you won't do it. You have to have you want to have that non-negotiability in place. So accountability partners has been really good for me. Maybe you get yourself a coach, or even you become part of a coaching group or an accountability group. You can find these around, guys. You can even just nominate a friend, and you can kind of come to an agreement that says every week we're going to check in with each other, and we're going to make sure that we've done the things that we'd said that we would do for that week. And you'll find that your business, your life powers on much more efficiently, much more fluidly with that accountability. Having someone there who you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to show up at the end of the week and say, I didn't manage to do that thing, because that kind of brings a certain degree of shame, which a lot of people want to avoid. So through social shame, you're applying another layer of power to that. I suppose you're kind of making it harder for yourself to not take action. Taking it up a notch as well, which is really worth noting, and this is something that I've been making use of much more recently, is think about some things in your life that would make your life really power along. Like what are some acts of courage that you should do, that you've been thinking about doing, but it's just sort of a little bit terrifying, it's a little bit scary. In my example, it's starting a brand new class. It's a confidence class where I'm leading a group of 8 to 10 people. I've never done anything like that really before properly on my own initiation. And it's been something that I've been holding off for months, really. It was just an idea, but I've only recently started doing it. And the real catalyst that helped me to just take action and do it, and now I'm seeing so many tremendous benefits of having set this class up, and I'm meeting so many people through it, and I'm getting such a strong sense of fulfillment by doing this, and I can really feel my life moving now. It's because I put it down on the calendar, and I made sure that it was something that I couldn't really cancel, I couldn't get out of. That's what you want to be setting up more in your life, is things that you can't duck out of. Create more events, more appointments with people, with groups, set up things. Again, easier said than done, but you have to have faith in the process of setting something up before it's happened, and putting it down on the calendar, making sure that you can't really cancel it, because you've got people that are showing up. You can't let those people down. Perhaps they've even paid money to attend that thing that you've set up. Maybe you're facilitating a mastermind, maybe you set up a coaching call, maybe you set up an appointment somewhere with someone. Do more of that. That's what life's all about. Life is not all about doing what you love. Life is very there's a huge element of life that needs to involve a certain degree of discomfort, a certain degree of, I don't feel like doing this. The more your life can be filled with uncomfortable conversations with people, with uncomfortable moments where you're kind of building up to something that you were dreading, right? So perhaps a meeting is coming up and you're kind of feeling nervous and you feel like this is literally the last thing in the world I want to do. That's where you know you're on to something. Those are the things worth immersing yourself in more often. And of course, those are the things that are the hardest to do, the hardest to stick with, the hardest to feel enthusiastic about. We get misguided by this sense that, we have to live lives that are totally enjoyable, totally pleasurable, and it's kind of arrogant to believe that you can go through life thinking that all of it's going to be hunky-dory, and then we get sad when things don't feel good. It's those feelings of fear, those feelings of discomfort that are the best indicators of the things that you should be doing. So make it hard for yourself to back out of appointments that you set for yourself. Have some courage, take leadership in your life, and put those appointments down in your calendar for more things that you cannot back out of. Start that class, lead that group, make an appointment with those members of the opposite sex to create new relationships. Make those appointments with potential new friendships. Go to that conference, go to that virtual online Zoom conference that you're dreading to do. Show up, and make sure it's non-negotiable. Make it as uncancelable as possible, and you'll find yourself really winning in life. You'll find yourself surprised at how far you can go when you start facing discomfort and you make that discomfort very difficult to avoid. Any feedback, any comments, always happy to see you guys contributing down below in the comments section. Do like this video if you liked it. Make sure that if you want to hear more stuff like this, I will be here sharing my views on life, living, business, and good habits. Make sure you subscribe. Peace out.